Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Ray Andrewsen, who is the Executive Director of the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. Sir.
Yeah, it's good to be back with you, Peter.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
What's
it's good
new?
to be here. And it's good to be here at a remote location.
I know.
Luigi's in Old Saybrook.
We're in Old Saybrook tonight,
Yeah.
hanging out and having a good time. So, Ray, what's going on with the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce?
Well, we are in the season of busy,
yeah.
as it always is in the fall. I think last time I was with you was warm and summer-like, and
Yeah.
maybe spring-like.
Exactly.
And now we're turning inward, of course. And October, November are always busy event months, as you know.
Yeah.
And so when we are running this and airing this in the next few coming days and weeks,
Right.
just give you sort of an idea of what we're up to. We have a
Sure.
Women's Achievement Award coming up on November 9th,
All right.
where we honor 6 area women for their notable achievements in the greater New Haven area.
Okay.
And we also have our guest speaker, our keynote speaker, Zoe Hunter from the Sci Center of Innovation at Yale.
Really?
Women's empowerment in business is a very major thing right now, and particularly in terms of our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, as we incorporate everybody into business and connect everybody, which is what a chamber should be doing anyway. And I think that's where she has a special message for people on the 9th. But also, you know, we are partnering and we are affiliated with the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce.
That's right.
So I know you have your New Haven audience, you have your statewide audience.
Right.
The Greater New Haven Chamber is really sort of a regional chamber, statewide chamber
Right.
in its reach and its membership, but also serving about 15 towns around the Greater New Haven area.
Yep.
And we have our big event on November 17th. So as we are taping this,
Yes.
happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
It's Pete Mezzetti's birthday today.
26 again.
There you go, pal. 26. God bless you. And we want to light another candle for you.
Exactly.
And many more
Thank you.
coming up. So that's today is a special day to be
Thank
here.
you.
I'm very happy to be here with
You're
you
welcome.
on your special day and birthday.
Well, thank
but our Big Connect Expo, the Greater New Haven Chamber,
Right.
is coming up on November 17th.
Okay.
It's my birthday.
That's right.
So,
It
yeah.
is.
Yes. So
So you and I are going to be the same age.
I think so. So I'll have to invite you back. Instead, I come out here to celebrate your birthday. You'll come down to
There you go.
to the
Absolutely.
Omni to celebrate our birthday.
Absolutely.
My birthday on that day.
Absolutely.
And we'll have panelists that day. We have the big taste. We have a lot of booths and it's a very engaging day. We have the nonprofit awards that go on that day.
Yeah.
And speakers and it's a learning day. It's a learning experience. And we usually get several hundred people
Oh, wow.
to this event. So it's a very, very big event coming up on November 17th. So our website's gnhcc.com, or for the Quinnipiac Chamber, it's QuinCham. I love that.
Yeah, QuinCham.
QuinnCham.com
Right.
to register for the women's event. So we're busy. We're also looking at 2023 next year
All right.
and trying to pivot. You know, Peter, one of the things that we've kind of struggled with, and I think a lot of us are struggling with this a little bit, is getting back and convening.
Right.
You know, we're in this wonderful restaurant, this iconic restaurant here in Old Saybrook,
Right.
Where Luigi's is such a very, very important part of this community.
Right.
And, you know, we want people to feel like they have a home at restaurants. This
Right.
is, you know, a place where you can go and relax, support your local
Absolutely.
families that run an establishment like this. And some restaurants are actually doing very, very well. This is a very busy place, a very
absolutely.
popular place right
Absolutely.
there. That's not always universal to all the restaurants that we've seen. But the restaurant industry is kind of hanging in there right now.
Right.
What's struggling a little bit is the event in the ballroom areas where these people are convening in larger scale events where, you know, maybe 200 people at a wedding, for example. You know, that's different right now because conferences, in-person events
Right.
are somewhat of a challenge, not just for Chamber of Commerce, but I'm talking about all other organizations.
Absolutely.
So we'd like people to consider how to get back to meet one-on-one, how to create community, how to be with each other, how to do, from a business perspective, that one-on-one sharing, getting to know people, expanding your network.
Right.
And that's so vital. You know, this is wonderful.
Right.
But I don't know about you, but I don't want to be staring at a rectangle and a red dot for the rest of my life.
No, me either.
I'd rather see people like our viewers get
Right.
out, if you can, and come to Luigi's or come to events.
Right. Be in person.
Be in person. And to sing, I know you and I had a stage career previously. We were in cabaret together, I
We
believe.
were.
Yeah, I think we were touring in Monowese, New
Right.
Britain. And I think somewhere, I think we were somewhere in Killingworth.
Exactly.
Yeah, at a park bench.
Absolutely.
When we were in Cabaret together. But to use the lyrics from Cabaret, what good is it to sit alone in your room?
Exactly.
Come hear the music play.
Exactly.
Life is a cabaret. So
Exactly.
come to these events. Some of the chamber events are free.
Right.
This is an opportunity for you to meet other people in your community and hand out your business cards, have
Right.
something to eat, something to drink,
Right.
and get to know people. And I'm really seeing that as so critical and vital
Right.
to mental
Absolutely.
health and well-being, to get out, get to these events, and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. And in the other aspect of life during our singing career, I actually thought about you the other day. I was doing something for my radio show,
Yeah.
and one of the stations that I was cued into for my podcast played Moshe Daddi's.
Edders too. That's right. Well, that's a song I used to have fun with.
Yes.
So I enjoyed it. So what Pete is referring to is there's a song from 1973. It's called Eres Tú, which is en español in Spanish.
Yes.
And it's by Moshe Dadis. And Moshe Dadis, many people don't realize this, was the third prime minister of Israel.
That's right.
Yeah. So Moshe Dadis was in office and later became a rock group. And
Right.
sang in the early 70s. So this is Eres Tú, to touch the wind.
Yes.
And the lyrics start as Como esté tú, eres tú. And I always thought they were counting.
Right.
So I would always introduce the song as, the Table of Elements song.
Right.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Eres Tú sounds like Eres Tú.
Right.
So if you had it as water is 4, dirt is 6.
Right.
Well, air is 2.
Exactly.
It makes perfect sense. I'm not on radio anymore.
No.
And I'm off the air for some reason. I
Which-
can't imagine why after explaining all of that.
You think? Maybe?
Yeah. Okay.
So how has the Chamber of Commerce handled the pandemic? You must
Good question.
have gotten as far as doing Zoom meetings.
Yes.
As sick as I am.
Yeah.
Is doing Zoom meetings. Zoom meetings are no fun because, like you and I did my show through Zoom.
Yep.
You were in your kitchen. I was in my studio.
Mhm.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
This is not the.
It's not the vibe.
No.
It isn't. And I think Zoom, and I think what we learned from the pandemic, gives us opportunity for efficiency.
Right.
Because there are some meetings and there are some interactions in an office environment where Zoom is better
Right.
than convening or gathering people in spaces. If you're convening a meeting, for example, of a small group of 5 to 10 people on a committee or a nonprofit board, it might make more sense to use Zoom. It's wonderful. I just became a grandfather August 30th.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you very much, little Hadja Noor Andrewsen. And Hadja was born in Oxford, England. So my son, daughter-in-law, and our granddaughter
That's right.
is in Oxford, England. So the way we can see our granddaughter
It's through Zoom.
Zoom meetings, which we have on Sunday morning. We have a standing meeting at 7 a.m. at our house, Connecticut time, and over in the UK, in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Son, daughter, and daughter-in-law and grandchild are there at noon.
There you go.
Zoom allows us to see them. And back in the day, if this were to occur, you would have to write a letter.
Right.
You'd have to take photographs, wait for the photo to be developed, put the photo into the, wrap it up in the letter that you're writing by hand.
And then mail it.
And then mail it overseas mail, and it would get here 7 to 10 days later.
Yes.
Then you'd open it up and you'd have 2 or 3 photographs, and then you'd have the long letter. Today you can have an hour conversation and
Right.
engage with somebody thanks to Zoom.
Absolutely.
And it is the technology that we are experiencing is wonderful in many, many ways. However,
Yes.
we're still human critters,
Yes.
and we do need to have those events in business and in our personal lives where we are actually shaking hands, patting each other on the back,
Absolutely.
socially distanced or safe, as the case may be, to be together. So I think we're going to emerge from this with understanding the technology pretty
Right,
well,
right.
but recognizing that human beings need to be together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's so critical.
Exactly. Now, as far as the Chamber of Commerce goes with Quinnipiac, as far as the aspect of networking, I'm assuming you guys are doing things in person now rather
Yes.
than Zoom?
Yes. So our business after hours are in person.
Good.
Yeah. We had one at Connecticut Food Share, which is the former space for Connecticut Food Bank in Wallingford. We had that back in September. We had 36 people there, which is a fairly good turnout.
Oh, wow.
And a tour of the facility, which is massive and impressive.
I've seen the facility on TV. I've never been.
Well, we had Pepe's Pizza that night, Fox and Park Soda. So we entertained people, and it was, by the way, it was free. So if you come to the events, we do treat our guests very well.
You feed us.
We'll treat you very well.
Okay.
And I think we do that. Our leads groups are on site at various businesses. We are at the Slate School in North Haven, this beautiful private school that is need blind in terms of admissions and payment. About to expand to a 7 through 12 facility, which will be built in North Haven on this gorgeous space. Absolutely stunning architecture. Our leads group met there. Our leads group had met with personal trainers studios. We were out at restaurants. We're helping our restaurants, as we are tonight here at Luigi's.
Absolutely.
We are convening, and our larger events, such as the Women's Achievement Award, our business showcase, which we just had in September, obviously golf tournament, you have to be in person to
That's
play
right.
golf.
I think so.
Yeah. Although I have to say that that a lot of my playing time, I think, probably just zoomed out into the woods, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah. So it's we've had our live events. We've had hundreds of people, like our Wallingford 350 plus 2 celebration for the town of Wallingford back on June 22nd at Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. We had about 350 people, 375 that night. It was a big event held outside. So we are in person. We are doing this, and we're really interested in having people come back and be with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the Chamber of Commerce goes, Mayor Bill Dickinson, what's he like? I've never met Mayor Bill, but you and I have another mutual friend.
Yeah.
That's Vinny Cervoni, who is the chairman of the town council.
That's correct.
Who is just a great person. I said to him, I saw him recently.
Yes.
I've never met Mayor Dickinson, but he seems like a really nice guy.
He's been in office since 1983 when he was first elected. Think about this. So he's the second longest serving first selectman, an office holder in the state of Connecticut.
Gotcha.
Bob Chatfield, who is the mayor of Prospect, with just south of Waterbury, is the longest serving from the late 70s when he was elected. So Mayor Dickinson has been in office a tremendously long time, since 1983. So if you count that out, that's 39 going on
40 years.
Yeah. So he will, it will tell you that he's learned a lot over the years too, and he's had a governing philosophy which he's employed over many, many years. So Mayor Bill is at a lot of our events as well, our ribbon cuttings and so on and so forth.
Right. And I saw something on your social media pages that Garrett Sheehan was at a local ribbon cutting.
Yes.
He's the executive director of
the Greater New Haven
Chamber. The Greater New Haven Chamber, that's right.
Well, he's actually president and CEO of both chambers. So he actually, because we are affiliated with the Greater New Haven Chamber, his title is president and CEO of the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce and the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. So our geographic beat is Wallingford and North Haven.
Gotcha.
And we just mentioned Mayor Bill Dickinson of Wallingford, of course, in North Haven. It's first selectman Mike Frieda.
Mike Frieda, absolutely.
Who's been in office 16 years, and he is the longest serving first selectman in North Haven history. So a lot of stability, and I guess the citizens of both communities like their leadership.
Matter of fact, Mike Frieda wished me happy birthday on social media this morning.
He did. He never misses a beat.
He did.
He never misses a beat.
I actually like First Selectman Frieda. He's a really nice guy.
Very popular, and I think constituent service is very important. I think when you are the person who will reach out and say happy birthday to somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
That's consistent with how he's
absolutely.
North Haven, very much one-on-one constituent service, caring about the community, and I think that's important in any role that you happen to have. It's very easy to disconnect, and it's very easy to think that there are just too many people to connect with. I think it's one, and I learned this in my radio career. I'm not broadcasting, and you're not certainly broadcasting to the ladies and gentlemen, to use an old-fashioned term. Not really a binary old-fashioned term, but I think in terms of a group of people. You're actually broadcasting right now to one person at a time.
That's right.
So listeners and viewers are one person at a time.
Right.
We all consume our media individually.
Yeah.
If you're an office holder, you're serving and you're engaging with a constituent or a person within your district or serving one person at a time. And I think we sometimes get away from that.
Right. Right. As far as the Chamber of Commerce goes for the next year, what's next year hold for?
Well, for 2023, I think we're going to continue to emphasize our in-person events.
Okay.
I also think that it's important for a Chamber of Commerce and we're looking at this model very differently than originally what Chambers of Commerce were like,
right.
To serve the entire community as a community agent.
Right.
What I mean by that is it was a membership-driven club organization at one time. So if you joined the Chamber of Commerce, that's when you access the benefits of being with the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
If you did not join the Chamber of Commerce, you did not access those benefits.
Correct.
About 30, 40, 50 years ago. What's evolved over time is the recognition that with new media, with websites, with public means to actually come to the chamber, if you will, it's impossible to make membership the exclusive domain of engagement with the chamber.
Right.
We have our events, we have our public service. We also advocate on behalf of all business. Membership gets you certain privileges. Remember that
yes.
credit card commercial?
Exactly.
Well, membership does get you certain privileges.
Right.
But we still will serve all the business community and advocate on their behalf, from government affairs, our advocacy with the local officials. We mentioned Wallingford, North Haven, and the region. Also up in Hartford at the state capitol.
Yep.
And at the federal level. That's what chambers do to make business prosper, to be able to create jobs, to make sure that we are growing our economy in this area. And also understanding that there are social needs and capacities, so that we want to be inclusive. We want to make sure that there is accessibility for all residents and all workers, that our quality of work life as well as business life is very sound. So that's what chambers are doing increasingly. For next year in 2023, we'll be doing a lot more of what we're doing now. We're going to continue to do our major events at the Quinnipiac Chamber, including the Mayor's State of the Town Address, in North Haven, the First Selectman's Address. We'll have our Manufacturing Career Fair, which we always highlight.
Sure.
We will still continue to have our annual meeting and awards, which we highlight other awardees in the community for so many things they've done in various categories. Our golf tournament, which sold out a month and a half before the first club was swung. That was remarkable.
How was that?
Excellent, excellent. Beautiful day in August one more time that we had our business showcase and career fair, which we highlight. Our area businesses and booths coming up in September. We mentioned the Women's and Networking events that we have that also lead to our Women's Achievement Awards, and our holiday decorating contest we have every December in Wallingford and North Haven, where we get dozens and dozens of businesses kind of spiff up their storefront to create that holiday festive feeling. So with that and our ongoing messaging and communications, our podcasts that we do.
That's right. You guys were... Last time we were together, you guys were just about to launch the podcast.
Well, that's correct.
How's that going?
Wonderful. We have them every other week, 26 of them every year. So they're rolled out from a variety of our membership businesses. That requires membership to be on a podcast.
Okay.
But having been around one of these for 33 years of my career, I figured it might make sense to do something professionally.
I've never seen you around one of these in over the 33 years that you've done this.
I confuse this for an ice cream cone. But,
yes, exactly.
It's a single scoop, I believe.
Probably.
But so it's important to be able to interview somebody as you do for 15 or 20 minutes about their particular nonprofit organization, their business, from a variety of sized businesses too that are members of the Chamber of Commerce. So our plan for 2023 or 2023, if you will, is to continue to do what we're doing, expand more, build our sphere of influence so that we can serve and help more people in the business community, but also not just that mission, but to create better community so that we're engaged to promote the best interests of the towns that we serve.
Now, as far as membership goes, how many towns does the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce reach?
Well, it's Wallingford and North Haven primarily,
Okay.
but you can join the Chamber of Commerce if you're in Dubuque, Iowa. There's
Okay.
no law that says there's no governing issue. I think that's a confusing thing for some people.
Right.
For the example, the United Way model
Sure.
for a nonprofit is to stay within the service area and boundary of those communities.
Correct.
So the Meriden Wallingford United Way serves Meriden Wallingford exclusively.
Yeah.
The New Haven, Greater New Haven United Way, or Greater New Haven, I should say, has specific towns that it serves. Same with Shoreline and other
Right.
parts of Connecticut.
Sort of like the Middlesex United Way.
Yeah,
Which
but the
covers-
Middlesex Chamber of Commerce and other chambers of commerce
Right.
can take on membership and serve other areas.
Right.
So if you want the market, if you want to have your business from Madison, Guilford, Brantford, or
Right.
wherever you happen to be, Waterbury or Bridgeport, if you want more business in Wallingford and North Haven, you would want to join the
Right,
Quinnipiac
exactly.
Chamber of Commerce to have that added marketing push and access to that community. And we have members who are not in the two twin towns that we serve, who are part of our membership base. And we're a little over 400 members in terms of service.
You got a good-sized chamber.
Yes, and many of those are solopreneurs,
Okay.
individual businesses, small businesses, which populate. And Wallingford's unique. I mean, Wallingford and North Haven are in this wonderful low-tax business corridor along Route 5.
Right.
Wallingford also has the electric plant. So the electric rates in Wallingford are
That's right.
half the cost of other towns because of this. And what's remarkable about that is that's what causes Wallingford to be a manufacturing, exporting powerhouse across the country.
Yep.
Within the just couple of hundred communities in the United States, Wallingford is in that privileged class of being a major exporting manufacturing town in the United States.
Right.
It's also the top per capita manufacturing town or city in the state.
Right.
So more manufactured goods are shipped off worldwide from Wallingford, Connecticut, than any other town out of 169 in Connecticut.
Wow.
And if you are coming to Wallingford, you see all the manufacturing facilities that are there. And it's quite diversified. It's remarkable.
Really?
It's a very busy community, and particularly in metals, resin coating, plastics. I can go on and on and on.
Really? I didn't know
busy
that.
place. No, that's why.
Well,
we do
there you
this.
go. There.
Yeah,
That's
so-
why we do this.
That's right.
Exactly.
So it's and North Haven has a lot of industry distribution center, very large Amazon distribution center in North Haven.
Right.
So North Haven having a very low tax rate and a very solid, base tax base as well is an attractive community. So we're very blessed in those two towns.
The funny thing is my dad recently acquired a 1972 Mercedes-Benz from my uncle who passed away of COVID and cancer back in February.
Yeah.
And him and I had to go to the Mercedes-Benz dealer in North Haven. And we were driving up to the dealership to drop it off and wait for service. And I knew I had an idea where we were, but not really.
Yeah.
We drove by the Amazon facility.
Yes, it's
I'm like,
very large.
Oh my God! I looked. I happened to look out the window, and there it was. I'm like, holy God, that thing is ginormous.
It really is, and there was a very large Pratt Whitney plant there.
Yeah,
for
that's right.
decades
That's what he said.
before, which lay dormant for about 20 years
That's what
until
he said.
Amazon came in. So it's a pleasure to be with these two chambers and to work on behalf of
absolutely.
the local business because what we're seeing are two towns that are very healthy economically, have very strong bond ratings. Their finances are very well tended over many years. Good school systems, good quality of life, and I think that's why it's kind of a joy to be able to do the job that I do.
Absolutely. And how long have you been with the chamber?
So, well, I've been with the Quinnipiac Chamber since March 15th of 2021.
Right.
I was actually promoted and redirected from the Greater New Haven Chamber.
I was going to say, I visited you when you were in New Haven.
That's correct. I was there for a little over a year.
That's
and
right.
when D. Pryor Nesty retired from the Quinnipiac Chamber Executive Director's post, they did a search. And Garrett Sheehan, who you mentioned earlier, our president and CEO, called me up one day and had an inspiration. He said, goes for a run, and he starts to think when he runs. He's on his job.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, what about Ray? I mean, Ray has been, he's a general manager. He has executive experience.
Exactly.
I wonder if he'd be interested.
Sure.
Let me just ask him. He probably, I don't know if he'd be interested, would he? When he asked me, I hadn't given it much thought, in truth, because I was really focused on my New Haven.
Right.
With that chamber, I thought, I love New Haven. I love being downtown, but
yeah.
I grew up in North Haven, raised in North Haven. I live in North Haven. I know Wallingford. I have a lot of connections in Wallingford from family and my relation with business. Yeah, I would like to talk about it. And it obviously evolved. But it made sense.
And I remember having that conversation with you. You were like, I'm changing my career. I'm like,
yeah.
What do you? Yeah, I remember this.
Yes, within the organization. And I'm rather happy. It's a good place to be. And I'm happy and pleased to see how we're growing, as a chamber, and how we're positioning ourselves again for 2023 and the years ahead.
And I'm sure that they actually have, as far as the chamber goes, you guys prefer doing things in person rather than virtual. Virtual meetings are no more fun anymore.
Well, not at all. I think we have some of our limited meetings for efficiency purposes. We do those. We do occasionally do a webinar, which obviously is online. But most of our engagement and most of our work is really facilitated in person. And again, I'll have to tell everybody how to contact us.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. So it's easy. Call 203-269-9891. That's 269-9891. That's our main number at the chamber. Maribel Carrion is our operations manager. She answers the phone. She'll be the person who will be your point of contact.
Okay.
Gary Carliglio is our membership services coordinator for our region for both the Greater New Haven Chamber and the Quinnipiac Chamber. Also affiliated with our Quinnipiac Chamber. And, of course, myself. You can email me at Andrewsen, ANDREWSEN, at Quincham. That Quincham has come back again.
Right.
QUINNCHAM.com. I'd love to hear where your business is, what you're doing, how you're going forward, and, of course, our quincham.com website.
Ray Andrewsen, thanks for some time. We'll see you again soon.
Peter, happy birthday.
Thank you, bud. We'll see you soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you. On behalf of Ray Andrewsen, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.